Okay guys, Andrew from McNasty Customz. We're going to be going over another video on this 89 XR250 plastic repair. We have the video where we showed you how to go over and do the tank real quick and get the diggers out of the tank. So now obviously something brushed across the front fender over here real deep from this section from here to here on this upper bridge, and a little piece in here. We're going to do the same exact thing that we did on the other video on the gas tank. I'm going to show you how to bang this out with some we're only going to 400 we're only going to 400 grit sandpaper on the DA is all we're doing. We're not wet sanding, we're not doing any of that. And because we're using the Mother's Mag wheel polish, you're going to see how this buffs out pretty. It heats the plastic and molds it, and it pulls all the scratches and everything out. So this is the fastest bang for your buck. Obviously, like I said in the tank video, the more time you put into it and the higher grade you want to go up to 2,000, 1,500, 2,000. I mean, that's a little ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. Wet sandpaper, obviously you're going to get a much nicer show shine to it. But we're going to bang out this video. The last video we did on the tank, we did it in real time, and we're going to try to do the same thing on the fender in real time. I'm going to go and I'm going to start with the one process. I'm going to bang it down the best I can with the sand, with the sandpaper and so on. I'm going to buff it out all in one shot so you can see how long it actually takes to do it. So let me get this camera set up a little closer to this fender, and then we'll start from there. Okay, so here we are at the fender. Like you see, there's a lot of scrapes right here, and there's a deep digger right there. We're going to do this in real time as fast as we can. Here we are, 80 grit again, just like we did on the gas tank. So you start with 80 grit and sand the big scratches out. Don't go any further than the big scratches. Don't go all over the fender. Just do the big scratches with the 80. You see right there, it's already dug a lot of them out. A little bit down here. I don't know if you can see the bottom. I'm going to try to get this big dig out. That's real deep. So you hold the sandpaper at the edge and you keep rolling it back. You don't want to just sit on the edge and dig it straight in. You want to feather it back out. This we might not 100% get out, but we'll take it and see what we can do with it. And when I do that, you can see how deep the scratch is now. Wow, it's actually coming right out. That's actually really good. That was really deep. I'm surprised. Obviously, when you turn the sander at an angle like that, it eats a lot more plastic, so you got to be careful. You're watching what I'm doing here, so you can clearly see that I'm not spending a ton of time doing that. Now, these are lighter scratches in the other area, but we're just focusing on this main area right now. We're just focusing on this main area, just so we could show you for the video real quick on how to get this fender to look pretty good. The fender, all in all, is really not in bad shape anyway. So the next grit we are going to go to is we are going to go to the 150. This is where you spend a little more time because we're going for such a... You could probably go to a 100, then a 150 and so on, but so we're going to spend a little more time doing the 150 real quick, just to get these spots down because the 80 is real rough. Wipe the plastic off. It's actually not getting hot yet, so you don't see too much there. And you only want to go a little past the area of the 80. So you start with the 80 and you do just the scratches. Then you're going to go to the 150 and just butter past the areas. And then we'll go a little bit further every time we go down to the next step in sandpaper.
off the plastic area, that blow it off with a hose, blow it off with whatever. You can see the little bit of plastic that gets stuck in the sandpaper. You bang it off, clean the fender. You let the fender cool down a little bit. We obviously didn't go that long. If you're doing a bigger area, it would heat up more. It feels, you know, it feels pretty good, but we're getting all the 80 grit sandpaper marks out right now. You see all the plastic that's coming off? You don't want to stay in one area too long. You want to keep moving it back and forth so you don't warp the plastic or dig into any areas. That's probably pretty good for the 150. So we'll take the 150 off. We'll move to the 220, which I believe is this one. No, 320. We're going to 320 on this one. So there's a 320 3M. They spend a little time digging those scratches out. And now you go a little further past the area that you sanded here. You keep massaging it more and more and more. And now 320, I can get a couple of these small other diggers out over here. You know, little scratches. Now I would do the little smaller scratches with the 320 because they don't need to be done with the 80. Starting to smooth out now. Depending on how much of the area you're doing, you want to feel for how hot it is because you want it to be cool. And like I said, keep wiping it down and cleaning your pad. It feels nothing like it felt before. Looking pretty good. And this side, the other opposite side of the fender is pretty good. There are a couple of little nicks and scratches that I'm really not going to care about. That little scratch right there and so on. We're trying to get, obviously, something dug into this fender where it must have went down at one time. And that's all we're trying to do right now. So we started at 80. We went to 220. Oh, 150. So 80, 150, 320. And now we're going to stop it off at 400. 400 will be the last piece of sandpaper that we go down to. And like I showed you in the other videos, we don't wet sand, we don't anything unless you're really restoring. This is just a fast fix. And obviously we're going super fast to try to show you in the video how fast this can be done in real time. for a restore, you know, plastic, or, you know, not restore, fully restored, but for a rider restore, not a showpiece restore, that's pretty much good enough. I mean, that's pretty much all you would have to do. You saw how much I sanded this down and all. Now watch what happens if I just take my finger, wet it. Watch up here. So you can see, once that buffs out, the color is going to match all the way down. So again, like I said on the other tank video, we use Mother's aluminum mag polish. I know that's not the common thing that everybody uses. The light just shut off. There it is. So it's not the common thing that everybody uses. It's what we use, and it works the best for what we've been doing with it. Okay, and we are using a wool pad. The wool pad. Do not use a foam pad. Use a wool pad. So this is a wool pad we just got done a few minutes ago. Obviously it's still a little dirty. We just got done a few minutes ago doing the tank, so now we're going to show you pretty fast how this is going to buff out in real time. So you just take a little bit, you don't want to go crazy, just kind of put it everywhere that you are, you know, randomly, that you are going to, the areas that you're going to buff out. And then you want to turn the, leave a little on your finger, so you come back and you'll do it multiple times. You want to turn the polisher down. So this is a DeWalt, obviously a DeWalt brand, whatever, and you can, it has a variable speed right here. So you turn the speed down, you don't want it to be super fast. So we're on level 3 with the polisher. So now that you got the, and you want to come on here and you want to polish it, and you don't want to go get it too hot. So you just want to keep coming back and forth. But just watch what we do here, and then you can see, we're going to do this area first here, so you can see how it'll shine right up and all the scratches will be gone. We're on level 3 on the buffer. All buffers are obviously going to be different. And we are putting a little bit of pressure, not a lot of pressure, just putting a little bit on here for now. And we're trying to get a little temperature into the fender. Want to bring the plastic temperature up a little bit when you're playing with this. And this, just what we're doing right here, will do that. This is all you want to do. Let's add a little more polish. And that's all you want to do. You want to add a small amount at a time. You don't want to go crazy. As you go faster and faster with the buffer, it'll start to bring more of a gloss to it, but you want to work it over that little bit at a time. You want to add a little more polish, and now you know, we went slow and we went into deep. We're going to the very bottom of the fender down here is a little bit more difficult. It's going to take a little more time, but I'm just going to show you this quickly up here just to show you how fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up 1 speed on the buffer. Kind of massage it in. Going to go up another speed. Keep it constantly moving. You don't want to stay in one spot at all, period. No matter what you do not stay in one spot. Constantly move the polisher back and forth. Constantly keep adding a little at a time. You'll see when it starts to get real dry. Add a little more at a time. Keep moving the polisher. You don't want it, now I can already feel it's warm. You don't want it to get super hot. You want to get it warm, and then it'll pull all the plastic together with the polisher, and it'll make it look nice, but you don't want to get it super hot. If you get it super hot, you're going to burn it, and then you're going to have to sand that area down again and start over. Just keep going back and forth over the areas. You keep moving over and over and over. And I can add a little more speed if you want, like we just did right now. go faster, you use less pressure on the buffer down onto the plastic. So like I said, we're not really doing the bottom of this fender right now. We did sand it in front of you, but we're not really trying to show you the bottom of the fender. We're trying to show you this area that was gouged. This was very light stuff, so that'll come out pretty easy. You just got to work at it. Now you can really see on the camera how we're getting a pretty, look at this area here where we're really getting a good shine. So I'm just taking my time and you know, going back and forth here, but obviously now let's just gloss this piece up right here. So I'm trying to fool around with all of this, but this is just to show you. If you want an area here, let's gloss this up real good for you. You come over it, add a little more speed. Now you see, as soon as I put the mothers on, that has got temperature in it, you can see it instantly melts. That means you're starting to get hot. Once you get to that hot, that's where she'll get their shine. You don't want to get it too hot though, just remember that. So there we are. I'm going to obviously finish the rest of the fender, but I want to just cut it here so now that you can you see what got done. Yeah, it's already 18-minute video, or at least where we are recording wise. So let me just get this a little closer. Actually, yeah, let me pull this camera off and let me show you around the area. So we're going to put up on the corner of over here, we're going to put up the fender before. There are no more scratches in this fender. Remember the deep scratch that was right here? There was a deep scratch going all the way across the fender, and we're not even finished buffing that. Gone. And this is the area from this point to this point, from the top of my finger to the bottom of my finger, that had the deep gouges in it going one way. So let me move over here. Just so you guys know that this works. This is fast, and this works, and this saves a piece of plastic. Obviously, you can see a little bit of buff right there. This was the deep scratches. Now, all you got to do is play with this a little bit more, obviously. So down here, we're still buffing out, and then we had a bunch of areas down here. You can see the very bottom of the fender right here along this lip. You can see it had some diggers in there, and you can see where the front of the plastic is banged up a little bit, so we sanded that down. And that being sanded, we didn't even hit that with the buffer yet. And then we have some others down here still. And then obviously this main area was the big bad damaged area, and this is what I wanted to show you on this bike. It is gone. So with some mothers and a little bit of sandpaper, you don't have to sit there for days with people, oh, do it all by hand and go all the way to 2,000 and this and that. Now, like I said, this isn't a full restored fender. If it was, and you want to use your sandpaper, your wet sand, and go from 600 to 800 to 1,000 to 1,500, it'll come out even shinier, and it'll come out with a lot less buffing. However, for you know, basically a fender here that you're just fixing up, this is the gas tank we just did. That was all cut up with a knife, and obviously it's all 100% gone. Somebody took the Honda 250 sticker off with a razor blade or something and dug the hell out of the tank. So we showed you that in another video, and now we showed you, so this is real time. We wanted to show you real time how long it takes to fix some of this plastic. So why go buy a $90 fender when this literally took us 20 minutes to fix this fender? So I'll put about another 10 minutes into this fender total, and this fender will look as brand new as, you know, something that you're gonna buy pretty much. So this saves you $90, man, for I don't know what it is. It's like $11, and if you have for the mothers, and if you have a buffer or any kind of a buffer or polisher and any kind of a This is actually a very cheap sander that we changed the pad on, actually. But this is like a real cheap eBay $15 sander, but we actually bought a quality pad and swapped it right off the rip. So I don't know, guys. I hope that helps you out a little bit. Gives you an idea of a little more in-depth detail of how to do this stuff and fix these bikes up for real cheap. Some of this stuff you can't buy. Obviously, the fenders and stuff that you can't buy, you're going to want to repair like this. You know, I looked for a factory-style front Honda fender, man, and I'm not finding anything right now. So I said, you know what? I'll just do a quick video and fix it for you guys. So like and subscribe, guys. Watch a few more of our other videos that we have with these old vintage bikes and so on, and check out some of our other videos that we have with our side-by-sides and our Ford truck stuff, and let us know what you think. We appreciate it, guys.